I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we are here today with Kirk McDonald, GroupM's North America CEO and a founding member of the Black Executive CMO Alliance, also known as BECA, to speak about a topic that is at the heart of our People First philosophy, and are really looking to know how we are contributing towards creating a more inclusive culture with equal opportunities for everyone. So, Kirk, thank you for doing this for us. Lovely speaking with you. So, we are going to jump right in. So, I've noted that throughout your career, you've had a few accolades, which are really impressive. And it seems like you have been very busy. So, can you tell us a bit about some of these awards? So, I know that you're on Ebony, you've been in Ebony's magazine's Power 100 list. Adweek named you amongst the 12 stars of ad tech who are building the future of the industry. And then I think Business Insider actually said you were one of the 46 most important African Americans in technology. So that's super impressive.
Why 46
Outside
though? Anyone ever really think about why it was 46? We should have had like the top 100. The fact it was 46 is the problem, right? So you're going to very quickly realize I do embarrass easily. So while those awards are there, Michelle, the reality is I just have been about doing the work. So it's nice to get them. I accept them and recognize that they're probably more about the people that I've been fortunate to be surrounded by and the work they've done. And then I've been there to play a part in that. At the end of the day, the real value of them, I hope, is that they create a picture for others to see, because sometimes it's difficult to sort of aspire to and to be something you don't have lots of examples of. And what we want to do is create better examples, different, diverse examples for others, as well as, across all of those instances where someone or a publication or felt like they should call me out for something. Behind that, hopefully, was a lot of really good work where someone had opportunities that were not normally or weren't going to be afforded to them. Some new opportunities were created. That's what's important to me about it all. But and I feel very fortunate to have some of that recognition.
I love the humility of all of that, because I do think it's important for leaders, to have confidence, but also acknowledge the humility that it takes to share as you have. So thank you for that. In that spirit, though, of having, leaders that you can aspire to and having these examples, what would you say are two characteristics that really contributed to the success you've experienced so far?
You know what? I would say curiosity and perseverance. So let me break them down. So separately, I feel very fortunate that I followed my curiosity from a career standpoint. So just things that were interesting in addition to building on the skill set got me to go do digital early. I mean, really early, right? And pursue automation early, right? When advertising technology first started, I was early. So by early in digital, I mean I was selling digital ads. This will age me, in 1995. When Netscape launched a browser, I was, there and figuring that out. And programmatic advertising in 2007, figuring out automation technology. So that's simply following curiosity. The perseverance part starts, and I credit it to a quote my mother gave me when I was graduating high school. And the quote simply says, "The heights by great men reached and kept are not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, are toiling upward through the night." So that's the hard work and determination part, and curiosity. And I think if you bring those two things together, at least for me, when I brought those two things together, the reward has been, one, fulfilling work, interesting work to me, and it's, I feel fortunate it's paid off from a career standpoint.
That's That's exciting. And I like that you called those two out, because I think often we can point to many things, but having that intellectual curiosity, I think, is key to just growing, right? And then you see the benefits of that payoff. So thank you for sharing that. Conversely, what has support looked like for you, right, as you've moved up in your careers? Have you had mentors? Have you had sponsors? And how did those people manifest for you?
It's a question that I've been asked a lot, and I've actually spent a lot of time trying to figure out, did I have a lot of those? And unfortunately, I didn't. It doesn't mean as much as maybe that sounds, but I just didn't have a mentor who was actively my consigliere, or the person I could go lean into to get advice. Partly because a lot of what I was doing, I just didn't have anyone who had done it before, right? At my local church or in the communities that I existed outside of my work community. As many people with diverse backgrounds realize, sometimes there's a big separation between what is your personal life, your personal experiences, and your professional life, so much so that they never overlap. Like, you don't even introduce them to each other, right? It isn't until later in my career where there's beginning to be overlap between what is my personal set of friends and my work colleagues or friends. So yeah, I didn't have a lot of those mentorship relationships, but I could rely on family and I could rely on friends to kind of, just encourage me to, again, have perseverance and keep pushing forward and doing things differently. Sometimes the adversity really is there to make you stronger. So you do have to lean into that as well. It builds stronger muscles, to be honest with you. It's not the way it should be, but if you decide that obstacles are opportunity, then I do think you can sometimes support yourself. I look forward to, and I hope for everyone though, that the availability of more choices, more mentors, more people that remind you or are familiar to you that you can lean into and get advice from. I hope that is beginning to be more available to diverse communities, and hopefully I can be a part of that whenever I have the time and someone wants to ask.
Yeah, I think you're right, but that's really gracious of you. Are you willing to share, or can you at least point to one challenge that you faced in our industry, and also as a rising Black man in our industry, that you'd like to share with us?
I feel like I've shared so much of this over the last year. There were times where I really just decided to open up and share moments where I really had to be forced sort of to face my imposter syndrome, face the fact that I didn't feel like I belonged, like I was in rooms where, I was just sort of barely holding it together, because when I looked around the room, I was the only person there. And this, it happened many times more than it should have. And that's unfortunate. And in those instances, yeah, getting yourself really grounded in, why you're doing what you're doing, and also, forcing yourself to experience the uncomfortable so that you can get stronger, has allowed me to kind of take from those moments learning opportunities. And I think, in many ways, all of us experience this, by the way. And I don't think it's just it's unique to people of color, or unique to women, or or LGBTQ. There's always an instance where you sort of go, hey, the things around me, the people around me are not like me. Is that okay? And I'm saying, in the instances where it's not okay, don't accept it. It isn't okay. But also realize that you're now there for a reason, and you have to be the one to push that tree down, to carve that new path. So don't run away from it. Don't try to escape it. Lean into that moment, because it's not supposed to be that way. But then you've got to actually be the person that actually starts the change. Each one of us can be that type of change agent in those moments, and that's the learning, I guess, I've taken from it over the years.
So that is a nice segue then into, what are some of the reasons then that motivated you to help the next generation of Black marketers succeed through the creation of BECA?
So, over the years too, I've been fortunate to then belong to and participate in some industry organizations. So I'm also a member of the ELC, the Executive Leadership Council, which is, top Black executives across industry in the country and now growing to global. And there are these organizations that you have to sort of meet certain criteria to be a part of. One of the concerns I had, even when I was then invited to be part of the ELC, was, probably when I needed the ELC the most, it wasn't there. And now that I actually qualified to be part of ELC, and this is not a criticism of ELC, but now that I qualified and met the criteria to become ELC member, its resources are not as needed for me. Becca actually started with a little bit of a different philosophy, which is it is intentionally reaching around it to support and create mentorships for the next, for the pipeline talent of marketing executives. The images we see, the stories we tell are such a critical part of how we shape culture, how we perceive value, how we even appreciate the things we consume and experience. We know that we live in this industry. We do that for brands all the time. That's our day job. But guess what? That diverse perspective on this is needed. More and more, our clients are asking, hey, how do we actually look at this through a different lens? And yet still, there's just not enough talent in the pipeline. And now I'll say it, because we haven't really leaned into these jobs. And then when we lean into these jobs, sometimes the headwinds and the friction of feeling alone have caused some of the strongest candidates maybe to lean out. We want that to be different going forward. So Becca really is about that. Becca said, look, let's create an alliance of Black executive CMOs. And why aren't we looking at the next generation? So Becca Next is one of the programs that Becca is launching. And that really does look at that next generation of up and coming marketers that are Black. Becca is specifically about Black. And looking at that next generation of marketers and then finding for them the mentorship and partnerships they need. Also among some of the senior Black executives that belong, what are board opportunities? How do we sit on public company boards in a way that we're beginning to really influence those companies and influence the culture of those companies from right inside, not from the outside anymore? So I think that's an important part of this. It isn't just to deal with what's here, what's now, but really to also start future-proofing the talent pipeline in a way that tomorrow is as secure as we can make it.
Kirk, I am so excited about this group and the whole notion of preparing the next generation of marketers, which I think, to your point, is really critical from a pipeline perspective. So I am going to be watching you guys and seeing what the matching looks like and also what the outcomes of this program is. So thank you. As we think about Becca and your position at GroupM, can you tell us a bit more about how GroupM is becoming a more inclusive place?
Sure. I wouldn't have come here if I didn't feel like GroupM was already pretty far down on its journey, and WPP for that matter. This is a journey for a lot of companies. The executive leadership looking in the mirror and realizing we want to actually look like our constituents of clients and partners and consumers, realizing that for you to actually have diverse perspectives, you must have diverse voices inside of the organization and leadership roles to do that. And I was excited that the organization is on that journey. And I describe it as a journey that way. No one imagines that I'm saying that the work is done or that we're at the destination. It's just we're pointed in a good direction. Because we're pointed in a good direction, I'm excited when we get to accelerate things like the Media Inclusion Initiative, right? That doesn't get done unless Christian, unless Mark Reed, the larger organization, is committed to making sure that we are more inclusive in everything that we do. That doesn't get done unless our clients are asking for it. But now we actually have put the program in place so that there is actually a measurable objective that we can actually work with the clients towards, because intentions aren't enough. So you've got to set a bar and then ask the clients to get to and chin up past that bar. And that's what those things are meant to do. In addition to the 2% commitment or pledge that that we've talked about. We've also talked about a Black Accelerator, Black Voices Accelerator, which is going to be expanded to be a Diverse Voices Accelerator program. So I love knowing that GroupM WPP is so committed to this that it's not just asking clients to participate. It isn't just doing the things it needs to do internally, and we're doing quite a bit, right? If ever you want all the statistics on this, you know, get a chance to talk to Lakeisha Paul, and she'll talk to you about all the things that we're doing. I'm sorry for the phone in the background, but those are the activities we're doing. But now we're actually finding ways to bring our clients to a place where they can actually fulfill the promises they've made and to really accomplish the things they've set out as intentions and objectives as well. So I'm pretty proud of that work, proud that we got a chance to announce it. And really, I'm probably even more excited because there's more to come. This is not ending now. It really is become a direction of travel for us, and we're just accelerating in that direction of travel.
That's exciting. One final question. When you look back on all the work you've done at GroupM, what will be your legacy?
Ooh, wow. I'm just getting started. I'm not even thinking about that yet.
Oh, you're a prudent man, though. You're prudent.
Listen, here's the deal. If sometime 25, 30 years from now, when we look back and say, hey, what did this period mean? This was a pretty important period, not because of my presence at GroupM, but actually GroupM's role and WPP's role in shaping the next era of media. The fact that I'm here for this period is, I think, something that's humbling and a little bit of fortune. To go through last year for the country to actually, and for so many people to really look in the mirror and kind of assess the social inequities around us, the discrepant sort of experiences that people of color, Black men, had to deal with versus policing in this country. We've dealt with so much through this pandemic together. You can either look at the time and kind of be shocked by how troubling and challenging it was, or realize that all of those challenges, all of those obstacles were just opportunities for us to actually dig deeper, find out more about ourselves, be stronger bonded, and then committed to our purpose. I am as attracted to what CJ set out to do with the GroupM, which is shape the next era of media, as anything else about the job. So yeah, when I look back, it'll be that I participated in making media different, because I believe that media shapes culture. And I really do think that as that changes the world, there's the benefit of it all. So that's what I get excited about.
Well, on that note, I will say thank you for your time today. This was really illuminating, and I appreciate the time. We'll have to do this again after we've made some more traction with Becca.
You got it. You got it. Great chatting with you, my friend. Be well.
You as well. And see you soon. See you soon.
Bye.
In person. Bye.